Good afternoon from Julia Carroll. This is my 2026 weight loss journey, but today's video is not about weight loss. I'm going to do a review of Moana Live Action. It's actually my second review. I had posted a video like yesterday, but I took it down because there was something I said in there that was incorrect, so I thought I'd redo it. So let's just say I'm 54. So when Moana, the animated film, came out 10 years ago in 2016, I didn't watch it. I have no kids, so there was no reason for me to watch it. So just sometimes I go to animated films, sometimes I don't. And I don't recall seeing Moana in the theaters. However, I have watched Moana because I have Disney Plus. And you know, during COVID, I'll be honest with you, that year or 2, 3 years we were in lockdown. It's like you watch whatever you can watch. And when you have Disney Plus, you're like, might as well watch the animated films. So I've watched Moana, and I liked it as a film. It was perfectly fine as an animated film. And I watched it on Saturday night with a friend. And this is just my honest opinion about it. I did not hate the film. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I didn't find it to be a terrible film. The live action, it's a good film. I would have, if I had a daughter, I'd have no problem taking her to it if she wanted to see it. None whatsoever. What I liked about it, well, I'll tell you, it's a good story. They didn't deviate from the animated film with the live action, so it's identical story. They also, because it's live action, it's very pretty. It's a visually pretty film, whereas animation can't really get to that point where it's as pretty. And so it's a pretty film. So in that sense, it was really great. It's a very pretty film. The songs are the same. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's the same. The actress who plays Moana is different. And that would be my first complaint against the film. Now, I will say nothing bad about the actress who played Moana. She was perfectly fine. Did a good job. She was very engaging as Moana. She had a nice voice for speaking and singing, perfectly fine. The problem is, she's not as good a singer as the original actress. The original actress is a better singer. And I don't know if that's because doing an animated film, you're indoors and you could have the best sound stage for doing a film, but doing live action, you know, trying to sing live action on a beach, even with the best audio, is not like being in a booth singing. So there could be some logistical issues with the fact that the singing just didn't seem quite as engaging in this film as in the animated series. And that could be because they're required to sing live action on a beach. I don't know how they do films like that. Maybe they did it in a studio too. And if they did, that's even worse. I just personally, I thought Dwayne did perfectly fine for his song. It seemed the same to me. But the actress who played Moana, the first one in the animated film, it just seems to have a stronger voice, a more robust voice. And this lady didn't have quite as a robust voice. So that would be my first complaint. Now again, it's not enough to really complain about because Disney has always been really good about having excellent singers. Can't fault them for hiring some really good singers. So no complaints there, but it's a good film. The other factor that's kind of a detriment to the film, and this is just my personal opinion because I noticed this. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does not look right with hair, and long hair to boot. He is an iconic bald man, and seeing him with a head full of hair just didn't look right. He's too iconic an actor, visually speaking, and he has a specific look about him as an actor, and it's a bald man. Or if in some of his earlier films he has had hair and it's very close cropped to his head. This long hair down past his shoulders, wavy, it just doesn't cut it. It just, at this point, his career, half of his career is being a bald man. And putting him in hair, it's going to take more than one film. I mean, it's too hard in your mind imagining him virtually every film the last 10 years. He's a bald man. I mean, some of my favorite movies with him in it is the Jumanji stuff, when he's, Blackstone or something, and iconic bald man. So here we are now with this mind in my vision of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and now he's got long hair, flowy long hair, curly long hair, and it just is sort of startling, and that took me out of the film a whole lot. In fact, I went to the film with a friend and I told her twice, he just doesn't look right with hair. He just doesn't. So that's the first gripe, because in an animated film, you don't see their face. In fact, the character Maui looks different than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And the character Maui looks fine with hair. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does not. So he does the voice fine. He does the physical mannerisms fine. He sings fine. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a bald man. Every film, he's iconic bald man. So now you have him with long hair. That's just weird. That's just weird. Imagine Yul Brynner in The King and I with long flowy hair. And you'd go, ugh, that is not right. That's what it felt like. Trying to imagine Yul Brynner in The King and I with long flowing hair when the iconic image of him is dancing with Deborah Carr, and he's the striking bald man, dancing in the ballroom in King and I. And it's like, Yul Brynner is known as a bald man, just as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is known as a bald man. So with hair, it just doesn't work for me. I found that weird. The other thing that was a little bit off-putting is you knew it wasn't his body. I think he was wearing a bodysuit, and I think they've said in the past, I think I read somewhere, my brother told me, I think, that he was using a bodysuit. Well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's body has been publicized for years, so everybody knows what his body looks like. And you know what a body looks like compared to somebody wearing a costume body. This was obviously a costume body. Maybe they didn't want to spend the time and money to dress him, put tattoos on him every day for shooting, so they put a bodysuit on him. Or maybe Maui's supposed to be bigger than he is. I don't know. But it obviously wasn't his body. It was obvious. And that's a little daunting. So with those three things in mind, the fact that the original Moana was a better singer, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does not look good with long flowy hair, and the fact that the bodysuit, if you can get past those things, I think it's a decent film. Now, the other major gripe I've heard about the film, and this I do agree with, you have a problem of the original film came out just 10 years ago. In fact, its sequel just came out 2 years ago in 2024. As they're trying to start this whole film of the live action, they're putting the finishing touches on Moana 2, the animated film. So it just seems like, why are you remaking a film that you just made 10 years ago? It's not like it's out of date or anything. It's not like it was done 30 years ago and you're redoing it. So there is a sense of, why bother? Because now you're going to be confronted with, if you have a choice between a live action Moana or the animated version, why watch the live action when it's really exactly the same as the animated film? So people have mentioned, like, what? There's nothing new in it. And while it's not a terrible version of anything, there is an element of, why bother though? You didn't add anything new to it. The script, the storyline didn't change. It's the same. Most of the actors seem like they're this similar. And while they all did fine, there is a question of, the original actors did too in the animated film. Why remake a film in live action that was just done 10 years ago? It sort of seems like, why bother? That would have been better maybe to hold off another 10, 20 years to do. Why bother? I don't know. I've watched a lot of the live action Disney films that have come out, and I really liked Aladdin. But some of them I haven't, because again, I have stumbled upon the idea of, why are you remaking the animated films as live action? Disney's kind of known as the animation stuff. That's their hallmark. And I don't know, I when you think about it, it's like, what's wrong with being known as the cartoon king, the animation king? And that's what Disney set up for them. Sort of feels like they're trying to turn their back on, Walt Disney, setting them up as the perfect, movie company to do the animated films specifically for parents and children. So I don't really get why. I don't get why they wanted to remake a film that was just made 10 years ago. And it was made well. It's not like, they didn't do it really well 10 years ago. They did. It was perfectly fine. There was no reason to remake it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's not. It's a perfectly good film. But honestly, if you're like, oh, I have these two films that were within 10 years of each other, the original animated film or the live action, which do you want to see? Well, the animated film, the live action is no better. And in some respects, it's slightly worse. So of course you're going to see the animated film. And that's what they're setting themselves up for. Especially when it gets to their Disney Plus streaming platform. I think it won't go as far, because it'll be, why watch the remake when you can watch the original? And the original is within the same decade practically. It's I don't know. It's not like there are new techniques. I don't know. So in that sense, I can understand people being kind of gripey about, why bother doing it? It's not horrible. And like I said, if I had a daughter who said, oh, Mom, I really want to see this live action, I'd say, sure, I'd take her. No problem to it. None whatsoever. But that's not my case. I don't have a daughter. And there might be plenty of parents out there that are like, well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to come down on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or the actress who plays Moana. They are not bad actors. It's not a bad film. It's just, there is a little sense of, but there's also nothing new in the film. It's exactly the same. So what's the point? And I have to give it to people who are complaining from the standpoint of, but it's exactly the same, so why bother? Why why bother? It's nothing new. It's not like they've added songs. It's not like they added scenes. I kind of wish they had. Might have made it different, slightly different. But they didn't do that. And I wish they had, to give us something more that we didn't know. So my take is, out of 5 stars, it's a solid 3. I have no complaints. It's a perfectly fine film. It's better than Supergirl. I did like it better than the Little Mermaid. I did not like it as well as Aladdin, live action Aladdin with Will Smith. I like that one better. But if you want to go to the movies to see a decent film on some Sunday afternoon with your family, it's a perfectly good film. If you want to play hooky from work and take your daughter or granddaughter, again, perfectly good film to do that with. If you don't want to do, if you're supposed to do housework and you're like, hey, let's go to a movie, it's a perfectly good film. It's a better film than doing housework to watch this. So there are reasons to watch it in the movie theater if you happen to be somebody who just likes to go to the movies, and I'm one of those people. I just like to go to the movies. I enjoy that whole process of going to a movie theater. It's a perfectly good film to watch under those circumstances. But if you're watching it hoping it brings something new to the table, it might miss the mark slightly. But if you go in not really expecting much, if you go in just to be entertained, if you go in just to see the pretty scenery, then by all means watch it. It's a perfectly good film for that. Just don't expect greatness when you watch it. Don't expect greatness. And if you don't mind spending the money for a movie ticket, then go watch it with your family. There's nothing wrong with that. Take your daughter, take your kids to see it. It's a perfectly good film for that. Just don't expect greatness. The animated version is better than the live action, but take it with a grain of salt. So we'll just go with that. So this is my review of Moana, and like I said, it's 3 out of 5 stars. It's a perfectly fine film to go matinee. Certainly a great film to play hooky from work for. Take your daughter on some Friday afternoon and, call in sick, and your daughter call in sick, and afterward get yourself some ice cream. It's a great film for that. So take care from Julia Carroll and my 2026 weight loss journey and my Moana review right now. Take care. Bye-bye.